We're all waiting in the break room on something to do. So the only thing to do is look at your phones. So I'm looking at my phone, watching everybody look at their phones. Breadsticks with the bread wife. And the barbecue wing. Got pizza. Cheese pizza. Beautiful eye. The sun's about to blind her. I'm over here sitting in the shade. When the family takes a trip to the Dollar General. I asked my wife what she wants to eat. She said, let's go to Pizza Hut. She said, you want pizza? Only thing about pizza, it's real rough because of the carbs, I guess, for your sugar. But it's cheap. So I guess that's where we're going. Because I was supposed to get off at work at 6. Got off at work at 4:30. They had nobody come in and watch it tonight. So I lost an hour and a half. I was so tired, I was sitting there sleeping anyway. But look at all that dust, man. I don't know if that's me with all the sawdust on me flying around. All the dust particles. You're breathing all this stuff. It's rough on you. Yeah, waiting on my wife to put her shoes on. There she comes. There she comes, finally. Coming to the truck. When you get that mail, that junk mail that tells you, you get $30,000 benefits, they want to send some kind of insurance agent. You can use it as a trash bag for your Reese's Buttercup papers. Red Robin, we get a cheeseburger. It's Sunday, the only burger that's right is mine. My wife's missing garlic fries. Garlic fries.
I ain't leaving right the front.
We're at Red Robin. My wife's loving on me, making me feel like the king of the world.
One burger.
Love you, baby.
One burger.
Mile High Mud Pie at Red Robin.
But we don't want double dip.
Yes, another pretty day in the neighborhood. Won't you be mine? My wife said she'd be mine. Till the end of time. We're at the Metro Diner. I don't know if you can see it. I had to get out of sunlight, but they got this thing out here. They got some. It's a Halloween spook garden, I think. Yeah, it looks like a lot of spooky stuff and cars, and they had the whole every age group you can imagine out here decorating this thing. But it's pretty cool. At the Metro. Say it loud. What are you gonna do about my chicken?
You mess with me too much, I'll take a piece of it.
You gonna take a piece of my chicken?
Yeah, if you mess with me anymore, I'll take all of it.
How am I messing with you?
You got come on my face?
By telling you couldn't have no chicken?
Yeah.
We got an oil change, and the guy looked so sad when we walked up there, and I said, hey man, I've been asking people where would they go for cars. So the guy said he didn't know. He said somebody else might know. And, just talking to him and it broke the ice because, I think a lot of people are like my son. They just don't want to be bothered. And especially the way I look, they're like, I look different than what I am, if that makes any sense. I look like somebody off of Rob Zombie horror movie, I guess. But I can't figure it out yet. I told him I wanted my Mount Bear. He said, you brush it? I said, well, I didn't brush it this morning. I did take my brush out, but then I forgot to brush it. I was in a hurry. Like being off work, hurry, get ready. But yeah, lady up here at the, she's so talented where we eat now. She took her order, described the food, and she was on the phone with somebody. Then she walked off, she went straight to conversation. I could not do that. I would have been having a conversation, everything all mixed up. So that is very impressive. I can't do that. But she told me that her friend had that cuts her hair, Facebook Marketplace. They bought a house and a car all on Facebook Marketplace. But you got to watch out for the scammers. So it's pretty cool, you know, what you can get into when you're not doing anything. You know, just talking to people, being crazy, trying to grow your beard. And it's getting a little longer. They buried almost 2 knuckles now, but it's just gonna curl up, so it's gonna be one of the thickest beards ever. Unless they got some crazy guy. But hopefully it won't look bad as Charles Manson's beard. You know. But man, we're up here getting some chicken and mashed potatoes, and my wife's over here on the phone trying to figure out how to use it. We're up here at Metro, got the chicken, mashed potatoes, biscuit. My wife, what'd you get? The chicken salad with slaw and mashed potatoes. I can't help but look. Sometimes free stuff's not worth it. They were throwing away these TVs at the dump, so my daughter got it. And it worked for a little while, but then the light went out in the back light. So now they use it as a baby gate. Yep, I've been trying metformin for a few months, and I've been eating what I kind of snack I shouldn't eat. So metformin has some side effects. So I went by the vitamin store and I got a couple vitamins. Not medical advice, but I'm just gonna try it because they gave me some other, besides metformin, they gave me something that gave you the symptoms of neuropathy, like glucosamine or something. So metformin's worked okay, but it causes me side effects, you know. So I'm gonna try something else, but I ain't gonna just try something. So not medical advice, and I'll talk to the doctor and see what he recommends. But yeah, tomorrow's Halloween. My daughter's been going a lot of Halloween candy, so I gotta watch that. That stuff's bad for me. Got my coffee, made 2 cups a day. And tomorrow I gotta go to the doctor, and then I gotta take my wife to Charleston. We're gonna spend the night and then go to have her procedure November the 1st. So hopefully everything will go well. And she said, depending on how she feels, we might have to pay in the hotel again before we come back. And I was like, it's only a 2-hour drive. And she said, you won't know how I feel. So I'm trying to get that in my head, that she might have to be down there another day. But I was like, we're only 2 hours from the house. But she said, I didn't feel like driving last time. So hopefully she'll have the strength to drive. I don't want to spend another day down there, but had to do what she wants. And I was looking at cooking in the air fryer, trying to save some money. But by the time I get ready to think about it, she's up, she's ready to go eat. Like, we went to, I think, a Metro Diner. I got the chicken with 2 mashed potatoes and a biscuit. I gave her my biscuit, and I brought my coffee. Mine was like $17, but all the stuff she got, you'll see it in the video, ended up being $48. Mine was only $17. So 20, 30, 40, hers were like $30. So if I just feed her, I don't know how much money I'm gonna save by cooking in the air fryer, but you know, if I save some money, it'll still be worth it, I guess.
You don't get splinters on the kneecaps?
I don't know. He ain't complaining about it. Hey, you. We're up here at Metro. Got the chicken, mashed potatoes, biscuit. My wife, what'd you get? The chicken salad with slaw and mashed potatoes. I can't help but look. And my son did something today. He is very shy, so I cannot put him on video, unfortunately, because, you know, I kind of wanted to have a legacy. So when I pass on, or if I get Alzheimer's or dementia, then my family could see that I was not out of my mind, in my opinion. They might beg to differ. But I've been trying to grow my beard, but my son dyed his hair black today. He looks kind of like the guy from one that's with that on wrestling. I forget what they're called, but they're like the evil people now on WWE. Not exactly, but he got the idea from wrestling. And he's 21. He wanted to dye his hair 4 years ago. But when they first did it, where his beard line was, he had like black dye there, his nose, his head, and he had to pay my daughter $1 because he used a whole bottle of alcohol but he got most of it off, did pretty good. So now he has black hair, but it's got a reddish tint, but still. What in the world did you do? I thought his hair was beautiful the way it was. And my beard's all crazy man going. And you don't realize how time goes by, how fast it goes or how slow it goes. So I've been looking, said, what I need to do? And right now I've been kind of fortunate because my wife's real sick. But it's starting to get expensive, It's like starting to get expensive eating out because she wants to eat out high dollar places. And I'm only making like 300 and something a week if I get enough hours. I'm on part-time, no benefits. Now she has, Medicaid. But, I got some choices I got to do. One of them, I can probably keep my beard, but you got to keep your sugar under 200, and it's been right up around there. So I'm trying to stay healthy. I tried this new thing, not medical advice. I got some cinnamon, the Kayon or whatever, do your own research to see if this helps. But I put in for a job probably May. They say it takes a long time. I didn't realize it took this long. I was going to try to put in for TSA, but I'm a little wobbly. But they have a part-time position, and it still pay, just say they're G5 pay now, equivalent, but their money has to come by Congress, so I don't know if they would get a deduction. But they have a lot of benefits. If you work a 6-hour shift, I think you don't get a break, or you do get a break. So it'd be a long hour, especially if they're busy. And somebody in Hawaii, a lady got beat up by somebody they said had special needs over hot sauce because they wasn't supposed to have hot sauce. So you got crazy incidents like that. $20 an hour worth it. But you got good benefits, part-time, full-time. You got medical, dental, hospitalization, which I don't have any of that, so that'd be nice. You work one place, you're on your feet, but, you work at the airport, you got to be there, and the weather's not that bad, so it wouldn't be as bad as, like, snowy area. This is just all my understanding. I could be wrong. Now, my beard, of course, would have to be real short and neat, like, couldn't be no wild looking man. I need to trim it up anyway, but I'm just trying to figure out what I want to do with it. I wanted it to be long like a mountain man beard, but you hardly see those. And mine is kind of, even the ones that got them, they got all this trim. So, but, it's kind of getting hard to do it myself. So I might have just missed my opportune time for a beard, but TSA is pretty good. I think if you work, what I'm reading the benefits for like 5 years, and if you was able to retire, depending on the rules and all that stuff, it's a lot different. It's federal employee, you would be able to take that insurance into retirement, which might even be better than Medicare, which you get at 65. Or maybe you have them in conjunction and you wouldn't owe anything if you, start getting all kind of sickness. But, of course, you got to scan the things with a radiation. So you might be exposed to radiation for baggage and all that. No telling, you could get exposed to all kind of, it's got risk to it. Crazy passengers. And then, of course, you don't do something right, then they're going to punish everybody, and they're going to say, we got to do it this way now. if everybody made a bunch of mistakes, they're going to really crack down. And there's a high turnover rate. Usually I get jobs nobody else wants to work anyway, but this job a lot of people will because it's federal and pays good. So we'll see. Might be a opportunity. The only thing is, my wife's real sick. We're going, tomorrow's Halloween. So we're going tomorrow to get a hotel, and Wednesday they're going to go in there and do that mitral valve expansion with the balloon, hopefully. So we're a little nervous about that. I got my oil change today. My oil change was cheaper than going out to eat. It's crazy. But, the TSA's got a lot of benefits, just standing up. I'm taking my vitamin, not medical advice, just stuff I'm trying. My vitamin B12 and trying to cut back. So losing weight probably help a lot too. Now the trucking, I got a chance to do truck driving starting November 20th. And it'll be 2 weeks. You'll be in class at home, and then you have 8 times you go, you get your license. And I think $200 through Piedmont Tech, you can take your hazmat training, and then you take your test at the DMV. You pass all that, and it's good for 5 years. So you got that too. But a lot of new drivers, you just can't go on the road and drive a local route. It's hard to get. You'd have to do some maneuvering, and driving is really dangerous. It pays good. Some of them guys all gone all the time, but I like my grandbabies. Kind of like having steady hours. But, they say even if you're homeless and, you're not on drugs or anything, you can't be on drugs, you can't drink hardly any alcohol. So, doing that. Plus, you do hazmat, you have to be fingerprinted. And only U.S. citizens can haul it, so I guess you make more money. But there's a lot of regulations you got to go by. TSA seems like a good job. You got to pat people down and look, see if you see anything weird and watch all that stuff. So if they're secure enough, maybe they might just walk it on the road and not bother aggravating you at the airport, hopefully. So we'll see. Truck driving opportunity, but be gone long. TSA, maybe, I think I put in for full time, and they work anywhere in a 7-day period. You can get shifts, change shifts. The part-time be like 6 hours a day. That might not be too bad, no breaks, but you just stressed out, work 30 hours a week, and that'd still be what, 10, 200, 600 a week. That's not a lot of money part-time. And then I think up to 5 years, they get raises and you top out. So the pay be pretty good. You wouldn't have to worry about driving and all that stuff. But who knows? Who knows? Could do both. But, with trucking, you got to, TSA is you're going to have to be their person because they're going to want you to work those hours and probably flex schedule and all that. Who knows? Just thinking. I like my little job. I work the weekends, but there's a lot of little particles you got to breathe, and sometimes you don't do nothing, sometimes you do a lot. It's cold, hot, and it's every weekend. But I do love the job. And they work with me, I get to sit down. I'm a little worried. I can still feel the bottom of my feet and all, but I am getting older, 52. I don't want somebody coming there and getting mad over the hot sauce and pushing me down. I'd be like, what? Why you do that for? But this is a long video. Sometimes I just get to rambling on, talking about things, sharing an idea. My wife can't hardly take anything. She's worried about surgery, or she'll be worried about that, and then I'll just mention things. She thinks I'm fussing and threatened to even not let me go to Charleston with her. And I said, what did I say? So she can't handle anything right now. Her nerves all tore up like my son got his hair dyed, and she was watching it, and she just said, well, I wish you'd have waited. She just can't handle anything. You know, but hopefully get some people in here, but if I make too much money, then she'll lose that benefit. So what do? You know, because she really enjoys me being home. And I did get to work 4 hours, 4 weeks this year. I worked full-time hours, so that wasn't too bad. I did that little car lot job and hurt my back. And, you know, they only want to pay $13 an hour. And I'm glad they gave me an opportunity, but, you know, it's crazy getting in them low cars and everything. And where I worked, the little weekend job, they had some overtime during the shutdown. So I got some more money, but, you know, most time it's less. And then this week, they really cut us back. You know, only got like 17 and a half hours. So you got to think, yeah, when food's so high, because not cooking, so I had to grab a plate or something. So we'll see. Wish I could cook. My daughter's been cooking, and she does a thing that my wife really has a trouble with. My wife would just buy a bunch of food and think she can make a meal out of it, but then she don't feel like cooking because of her health. So we got all this food that I think my son ate some of it, but it's probably gonna go bad if we eat it because it's all frozen, got unthawed. But my daughter, now she cooks, and she don't cook a lot, but they eat enough to where they maintain and they snack, you know, a little bit. But she cooks meals, and she's able to prepare the meals with what she wants. She has it in her head, and that is so cool that she can do that. You gotta be smart when you're cooking at home to be able to do that. But it's a lot cheaper than paying, you know, like $50 just to go eat. And, you know, even if you give a little tip, that little tip pushes it up. So you gotta think. And I felt kind of bad today, but, you know, here I am only getting a little bit, but, you know, nobody really cares about other people's situation. I was looking at rent, and some of these places are getting crazy. There was a lady up north, 1-bedroom apartment. She was paying, like $2,300 a month. I don't know what kind of money she's making. Down here, they're starting to rent $2,000 a month. I'm like, who can afford that kind of rent? But this guy's on a bicycle. His hair is cut short, neat. Now, I don't think he was an influencer. I didn't have a chance to really look him over too much, but he's on a bike, a nice bike. I don't know if it's his, but he's riding around. He comes over there, asks me for some food. And, you know, I told him no, because I figured he was probably one of them crazy people. And you never know. These days, it's risky to do that because people can attack you. But I had to put $40-something in the gas, but all my money's digital. I don't have any money, you know, and trying to save money or just, you know, like everybody else out here, we're just trying to get by. But I felt bad because I didn't give him nothing to eat. But maybe if I go by there later and he's still riding around, maybe I get something and give it to him. I don't know. You know, I don't want to encourage the behavior, but I don't want to not do something. You know, like Jesus says, these people go to heaven, and he said, away from me. And, you know, they're like, wow, we prophesied in your name. We did this, we did that. He said, but I never knew you. You know, and I've heard somebody say it's because they did it for their own glory instead of the glory of God. But you want to do right and you want to help people, but you got to be careful because it's so dangerous. You know, you don't get attacked. There was a woman that helped a couple homeless people in this area, and she got beat up real bad. And there have been other people where people kind of, you know, people on drugs, they don't think. And like that special needs person attacking the lady over a bottle of hot sauce. And they're real strong. Well, if somebody's on drugs, they're real strong. So, you know, makes them like strong people to deal with, and they can be dangerous. So, you know, you never know. I know one guy, he used to like to fight. And, well, he told me he did, but he would take stuff before he went to fight. So he'd be numb, and he would fight better. You know, but years of that's probably bad for you. Crazy people in this world. I don't like pain at all. Even having this little nerve pain or neuropathy, I still feel things. But when I'm starting to lose feeling, I don't like it. But I don't want to go out and kick my foot through a brick. You know, it might not hit right. I still don't want no pain. I still don't like getting splinters, or my fingernails get too long, I had to cut them. But my pinkies always break if they get too long, just by daily use. So I had to keep them cut short. The pinkies are the problem. But yeah, man, hope y'all doing all right. Hope y'all know what job to apply for. I told my mom, talked to her about it. My wife, you know, she said, well, this sounds good. Do what you got to do, you know. I just got to keep no stress on her. I love her to death. And, I was just saying earlier today, I said, a lot of people nowadays that get married, a lot of them get married, as a business relationship, or them being married, both got kids. And so they say, well, they might love them, but there's other reasons behind just getting married. It ain't all about love. Sometimes it's business. Like, well, I got kids, they got kids. We can help each other with the kids. And some of them don't last after the kids are out of the house. Or some of them get married, financial situations. Not in America anymore, because according to what a lot of people say, a lot of women want guys making $150,000, tall, 6'6", all these weird numbers that there's not even enough of people in Congress to fit that bill. I mean, they're all old, but, very few people fit the bill of this crazy idea. And then people go overseas and they like the idea of the income, but then there's a lot of stuff going on that they don't know about, or they're, it's the same no matter where you're at. It's just different type of same, but it's the same. Just one of them's up front. Maybe the other one's honest. Maybe not. Who knows? But it's everywhere. People are people, no matter where you're at. Just different cultures, different beliefs, different way to go about things. But, everybody lives a certain age. They usually get up, eat, sleep, make some kind of money, or they got money. Some people in charge, some people working for the people in charge. Everywhere you go. That's it. Some countries are better, like they've been worried about the immigrant problem. So there's a lot of people, but then they're getting now, nobody wants to work. Even Amazon is starting to have problems hiring people. So they got little robots doing things. And eventually they said, Elon Musk, and you listen to all this stuff, you don't know what's going to happen. But they were talking about robots eventually taking over all the jobs. So everybody's wanting to work. And eventually nobody wants to work. Well, they take up jobs. Well, now these people want to work, can't go to work, because you got robots doing everything, or artificial intelligence. So they're going to have to give a global wage. But the crazy thing, wherever I'm at, by the time I get there, everything's not going to be the way it is now, no matter what I do. If I was investing in stocks, or it's just the timing. It's just, in my opinion, because I'm 52 in 2023. So by the time I hit 67, they're going to reduce your retirement or make you work longer. If I went through the federal program and got the federal retirement, then they will probably take away the Social Security, because you can't have both. Some of them you can, some of them you can't. So the money you invest, it hadn't done anything like 2 or 3 years. And then you work all this time, you're supposed to get retirement. Well, Now they got robots doing everything. So all these people that didn't have to work, they said they're going to cut out Social Security, but now they don't have to work because there's no jobs. So they're going to get retirement anyway, or a universal pay thing. Who knows? Who knows what's going to happen? But the way the world is so crazy. But speaking on immigrants, I seen a video where, they're worried now with all this tension between China and the U.S., and you have a lot of immigrants coming over here, and you think they're coming over here. Some people say, well, they might be secret soldiers. Some of them might, but even during, I think it was the Fist of God. I could be wrong, but it was a book, and it was wrote with the perspective of Afghanistan, where they were trying to find, weapons of mass destruction, and they had some people from overseas. They were actually come over here, and they were, when you're raised in your own country and brainwashed and you don't really know anything, well, you think you just hate them all. But then they come over here and they're like, man, these people aren't the same. They're all different. You got some good people, you got some bad people, but it's a diverse culture. It's not, even though it's America, it's America. It's like diversity. Everybody's different. Every family, you got families, you got dinners, restaurants, but most people, they might say, hey, you got a few friends, but people don't let their little circle get that big. Not a lot of people. So they come over here and they say all this stuff, and they didn't do it because they think, well, it's not right to get everybody just because of, the ones leading the country that's, it's all about the money. So then he didn't do it. And it's crazy. All the stuff's crazy. It's all about money, which is crazy. Fortunately, I won't have a lot of money to make any of those crazy decisions affect everybody. But I pity the people that do, because they got some stress on their hands. And then, you hear about these people talking about the music industry owns the prisons. So then they're putting out music to make people create more criminals to fill the prisons up. So they're making money on both sides. It'd be like the cigarette companies, they were big, didn't get in trouble when all these people got cancer. It'd be like them creating a cure for smoking. So they're selling the cure to make people quit, and they're selling the cigarettes to make people smoke. And then they come up with a new product to get people hooked on. So just like the guy, they said breakfast good for you, best meal of the day. Well, that wasn't true. You don't really need to eat breakfast. A lot of people don't. But he said that to sell more sauce and bacon. They come up with an ad campaign to make it believable. Just look at the recent things. You think it won't happen. But as long as there's marketing, people, opinions, money, it can happen. Like, look at all this stuff that happened just recently in the past 3 years. And there's still people wearing these things. But I-95, you can't prevent. So, who's crazy when you see that. I mean, it might help. Who knows? But it's just, people get so caught up on things, and then you see some crazy things. So you really got to use your judgment and pay attention to what's going on. Stick to your beliefs, and try to get along with everybody and stay away from crazy people. It's hard. But yeah, hope y'all doing okay. Hope y'all's family's okay, and y'all making it through these crazy times and just trying to survive whatever's going to happen next. Whatever job I got to do next. I mean, November 10th will be a year that I've been working a weekend job. Well, I started Father's Day of 2022, and I was working the other job 4 or 5 days a week. So sometimes I work 7 days a week, but November 10th, they laid me off at the other job, So I've been just working the weekend since then. Ain't been too hard, I've probably been a little bit lazier than I should have been. I've watched a lot of TV and not really that many movies. A lot of TV, all kind of series, binge watching, studying for this, made a lot of YouTube videos since November last year. I don't know how many, but a bunch. So YouTube's made a lot of money on me because they play ads on my stuff, and I'm not even monetized yet. So I'm growing, and I appreciate you guys sticking around watching. And I know a lot of people don't want to watch the long content, but every now and then I'll make it just to ramble on. And to me, like that lady today at Metro and my daughter, they can hear the class, and their mind is so focused they can pay attention. They can hear it, read it, and they know it. You could give them the test like a couple of days, they can make hundreds or, at least 90 something. It's almost like a temporary photographic memory, sort of. Now, when I get stuff, I'm thinking, I always ask questions, or I'm trying to see all the variables to make sure I understand it instead of just seeing it what it is. Because there's a lot of stuff I didn't understand. But like this, studying for the CDL permit, I got a good source, the CDL prep, I believe, and it looks like a steering wheel. I mentioned this back in some other videos. I just studied all those questions and keep reading them, and then read the answer. And I wrote them down. Then I read them, and then I took tests and passed. And I was like, wow, I didn't think I was going to pass it, but I did. But I have to kind of hammer it in my head. Even a spelling test, I would have to, when I did spelling tests back 7th grade, I would have to write the words, and I'd even write them in different orders, and I couldn't remember the words, so I had to kind of cover up just to look at the little bit, or I'd remember them in a certain order, and I'd try to write them down and spell them right, for the spelling test. And a poem I tried to say, I butchered it, but I was the first to go, so she gave me a second chance, but I did really bad. And saying public speeches, they would get me. I'd mispronounce people's names, trying to be calm, But I'm excited. I'm kind of excited, even though there's some dangers with the TSA. But my son, I don't know what you call it. He's spontaneous. I'm worried about him doing things because he'll just do things without thinking about it. But sometimes he has an infinite wisdom that I get caught up in things. Like he was telling me I was scared to go work for the nuclear plant. All these guys getting old, they've been there for years and they get cancer. And he said, well, Dad, you're already old. He said, by the time you get cancer, you'll probably be living about what you normally would anyway, so it won't affect you. And I said, well, what about if it did? I'd be so scared. I learned know so much that it kind of cripples me. And there's another thing I tried to do with this, what do you call it? I think it's like QuickBooks Pro. Thought about doing that, but I've even talked to the Facebook group and told them I was having a hard time wrapping my head around it. And they said, well, maybe you don't need to do that because I really can't. It's just like I got a mental block trying to learn the software. And I kind of want my brain asking all these questions, like driving. You got to be safe. You got to learn all these things to drive. And then hopefully they'll put you with somebody for a couple weeks. But, it's pretty cut and dry. You drive and you got to drive. You can't not be driving while you're driving. You know what I mean? You can't be like a car kind of half out of it. You got to pay attention to what you're doing. But now they're trying to come up with smart vehicles. So like I said, all these jobs are going to be took. So what's going to be left for people? So what I do with YouTube might be what people end up doing. We're just going to be all creative and all watching each other make videos. Who knows? But, the Simpsons done predicted that Donald Trump's daughter is going to run in 2028. That'd be interesting if they're right. I doubt I'll remember that from now to then. My wife passes, which I hope she won't. But if she does, I'm not going to be, I guess, anchored. So my videos might get real crazy for a little while until I figure out what's going on. But, you know, I'll try to spend as much time with her. So kind of leery about going to work full-time somewhere and miss it. And then my grandbabies. My little grandbabies, you know, they don't want to be held no more. They want to do their own little thing. So that's kind of, you know, I want to just pick them up, hold them. Let me down. So I just get to watch them run around. But one of them's kind of mean. He'll come over there and try to smash your feet or run over them with your feet. So you got to watch him. So you're like, you almost want to leave, get away from the terror. But you still want to be there because you love your grandbabies. And then the other one, he's starting to walk and he'll look at you and just, you smile or wave and he'll go, you know, just melts your heart. And he was drinking some juice or water flavor. I don't know what my daughter gave him. But my other grandson, he grabbed my wife's tea from Metro, took it over. Well, he drank all his juice and was still thirsty. He likes to drink a lot like my daughter, the little 1-year-old. So we put some of that in there for his little bottle. He's having a good time. And he looks like he's just, you know, like partying hard. He's like, yeah. And he'll come over, you know, just talking to you. And you know, he's only 1 year old and my son's 21. And he was like bowled up to him. Like, I was thinking, my son just looked at him like, you know, they don't tell him what he's thinking. He's probably thinking, whatever. But he's kind of looking at him like, wow, if he's 1 year old thinking like this, the time he gets my age, I'm going to watch out. You know, might be thinking that too, who knows. But I also had a dog come through the yard, and I thought it had a piece of trash in his mouth. And they said, oh, it had a pup in his mouth. I was like, what? And then my daughter goes out there, my 4-year-old, walking around it or trying to figure out where it went. And I think it's living in the woods. They had a litter of puppies, but it's been getting in her trash, the one that she leaves out. So, yeah, just enjoying life, seeing all this stuff. I got to call them people about the TSA, and probably would be better to have my beard trimmed anyway. Because the day we walked in the doctor's office to get the records, and the lady at the reception office, she just like, like, who's this crazy people coming in here? And she just looked at me like, you know, kind of a surprised look. And then I just smiling, you know, but it's funny. So some people appreciate you, and some people don't. But it don't matter what you do. They just feel that way anyway. But yeah, appreciate y'all listening to me ramble on about everything. And I guess I'm kind of nervous about the procedure too, but you know, she should be okay. I'll keep posting videos. Just hopefully if I get on TSA, as long as I don't post at work and don't talk about work, then just make my content, you know, about my vlog, or if I do trucking, as long as they don't do it while you're driving and don't tell them any personal secrets you do. You just talk about this and that, like, when it's safe sitting there, I think you'll be okay. There's a lot of drivers. Now, that'd be cool if you just want to get away from everything. But I worry about this silly stuff, like where'd I go to the bathroom? You know, because you can only drive so long. You're going to be out here, and you don't want to go somewhere where people are use the restroom and know nobody's coming behind them, or they don't have to go again, so they don't care, or they're expecting their mom to clean it up. And I don't want to go anywhere like that, because I got to get spacious, and I don't want to get covered in stuff that's not mine, or mine either. You know what I mean? So, a little leery about that. And I talked to this guy at the dump, and he was working at a grocery store, and then he worked at the dump, and I think he's doing something else. I think he might have been cutting grass, and he would even be getting stuff at the collection center, because they hauled everything away. So anything that was good, like bicycles or whatever, and he'd take and I think sell them or give them as gifts, Christmas presents or whatever to grandkids. So he had a little thing. Then he got a job with paid a little bit more, and he quit one job, and he said, he's older than me, and he said that at his time and age, he didn't want to do anything that he had to work hard. He didn't really have to. And, he didn't want to kill himself in his last years, but he wanted to make a little money, but not really kill himself. And I kind of relate with that, even though I'm only 52. But, I worked in the manufacturing, and then, you had to make stuff, and they're getting mad if things don't go right, and it's not your fault. And then dealing with people coming in there that have lives that, a lot of people, and then they don't care. The management, it's kind of rough to be in that situation. And then, especially, I just had low battery, so I don't know if it stopped recording or not. But let me plug this thing in, and I'll go ahead and stop this video. I've been talking a little while. But, yep, thank y'all for watching. If y'all got any advice on where to get a car, I've been looking at Marketplace, and I guess the good cars, you look at them, and then you look at them again, they're gone. So it's like, whoops, we should have went up there and got it. But it'd be hard to do it right now because it was in North Carolina. But I do like the fact that the benefits mean a lot. I've had jobs with benefits, and it's nice to have benefits. So we got to think about that. I'm going to have to call them tomorrow and tell them, hey, I'm ready. I'm ready to pursue further. And I don't know if I need a haircut or not. I might call them. They see my beard. They might tell me, forget it. But I don't look too bad because, the guy on drugs or whatever come up to me and asked me for food. So he must have thought I was healthy enough. There was a truck driver coming in there. He probably asked him too. But yeah, there's some way we can encourage people not to do drugs. But how you going to do that? And especially if we get this universal wage, there's nothing for nobody to do. They're going to have to fill their time with something, whether it's productive or not, So hopefully everything will work out. But if it did, it'd be heaven on earth. And, that's not going to happen. Not till later. But thank y'all for listening to me rambling on, trying to figure out what to do and trying to figure out what path to go down. And we'll talk at y'all later.